And as Eastern 1983 draws to a close, so do the 4 days of Bathurst. Mt Panorama this weekend exploded to the sound of some of Australia's best road racing riders, together with a record crowd that gathered on the top of the mountain to witness some of the best motorcycle racing we've seen in a long time. On our special program and our special coverage of the 1983 Grand Prix meeting, O28 is going to feature events including the RI 500 on the Saturday, which had a rather shock surprise first thing on Saturday morning when we learned that normal Suzuki rider Rob Phillips was going to have a one-day special ride with Team Honda on their Formula One four-stroke Grand Prix bike. He took a devastating win in the RI 500 when he completely streaked away from the rest of the pack and really upset all of those people in the Yamaha, Kawasaki and Suzuki camps. Also in our special coverage, we've got complete coverage of one of the most exciting races that I've seen for a long time, and that was the Grand Prix for sidecars. Across the top of the mountain, the footage is spectacular, and I do hope you can stay with us for that one. One of the leading contenders in the 1983 Australian 1000cc Grand Prix for sidecars is Victorian Jeff Taylor. Welcome to Bathurst, Jeff.
Thanks very much.
You've been very lucky in past years, and you've certainly worked very hard for it, but you've been a multi-Grand Prix winner. How do you think you'll go this weekend?
Well, we've probably got as good a chance as anyone, but there's a few others knocking on the door, so it could go anyway, really.
Jeff, you're, of course, a multi-Australian motocross champion as well. The conversion to sidecars, you've been there now a couple of years. Has it been difficult to get from the dirt back onto the road?
No, not really. I think I like driving cars and motorbikes, and then I think if you've got a bit of I must have a bit of natural ability, I suppose, but I don't find any problem.
And what about riding the TZ 750 powered sidecar across the top of the mountain? Is it a difficult bike to ride?
Well, it's not difficult, but it's a dangerous part of the track, and you've got to be careful on how you set yourself up for the corners and so on. You've got to stay on the track.
You obviously have a very great deal of respect for your passenger, Barry Fraser.
Of course I do, yeah. Well, it's a team effort.
How long's Barry been with you?
Ever since we raced the sidecar, 6 years or so.
And Barry's background in motorsport?
Barry used to ride passenger before I met him, in a B-grade type sidecar, and I'd go to race through lack of money, and eventually Barry took me into having a go at it, and we've stayed that way ever since.
Who do you see as the main problem over the course of the weekend as far as challenging you for the Grand Prix is concerned?
I'd say Doug Chivers. He was unlucky yesterday, got a bad start. Greg Neal goes well. How are those two?
Well, one win already underneath the belt. Good luck for the Grand Prix.
Oh, thanks very much.
The O28 helicopter continues to turn on an impromptu air show for the patrons at the top of the mountain between races. Flown by Terry Lee as Bob Frankel, waving to the crowd, continues to take his airsick tablets.
You will have a helicopter parked at the end of the main straight. Up at Hill Corner, there will be a helicopter parked at Hill Corner. As soon as I drop the flag for you after the 10-second board, as soon as you start, that helicopter will take off.
"37 riders on the starting line for the 1983 Australian 1000cc Sidecar Grand Prix, and we're looking there at the man number 14, Jeffrey Taylor, who's taken out between the senior and the junior Australian Grand Prix some 8 titles. He'll be the race favourite, together with Doug Chivers, and there's Taylor's machine, beautifully prepared outfit, TZ 750cc 2-stroke water-cooled engine with his passenger Barry Fraser. A very quick combination. Was the winner of the Saturday sidecar event after Chivers had a problem on the starting line and was balked on the line. Also, another man to watch will be number 47, Vince Genova from Victorium, and Mark O'Brien. And a very special machine out there on number 82, Greg Neal, with a monocoque, an aluminium monocoque chassis sidecar based on Rolf Bieland's sidecar, the machine that's taken out the World Championship for sidecars over the past couple of years. Number 12 is Doug Chivers in the blue and white. 14 is Jeffrey Taylor, and you can see the great shot from our Channel O28 helicopter and Terry Lee's Bell Jet Ranger.
And they're racing. The helicopter moves out of their way. And it's bike 12, Doug Chivers into it. It's a big break back in the field. Big starting collision.
Biggs from Ballarat in Western Victoria and his passenger Daryl Calvert.
And that's what can happen on the starting line. As the bikes start to wend their way up towards the first corner, two of the outfits have collided and gone straight into the safety fence. As you can see, all the riders okay.
That's the rider there, Graham Biggs.
Got all the ignitions off.
And 47 in there as well. Now that's drama because that's Vince Genova from Victoria, one of the riders who is expected to go very well in this race meeting for the Australian Grand Prix for sidecars. You can see officials there disconnecting the electricals off the bikes to avoid the possible incident where fire could be a particular danger to the riders and the crews. That's Biggs down near the Armco fencing there, being attended to by the officials. His passenger, Daryl Calvert, on the right-hand side of screen, okay. Mark O'Brien there with his back to us. That's Vince Genova's passenger. And there seems to have been a lot of trouble there on the starting line as we go back to our leader. And that's number 12, Doug Shivers, and Margaret Halliday, the passenger from New Zealand. 2.3 seconds separates first from second. And you can see Jeffrey Taylor there on bike number 14 in the black and gold, who snuck through. Sets off after the leader, but the TZ 750 bogs down a little on that occasion, and as they see the flags...
the race has stopped. And they've stopped the race, so after having tried to win the Australian 1000cc Sidecar Grand Prix and having got away by that country mile, Doug Shivers is going to have to do it all again. The officials were not prepared to let people ride past this sort of wreckage.
In the starters' hands for the restart of the 1983 Australian 1000cc Sidecar Grand Prix.
They're ready to start nonetheless. Getting very nervous, people edging forward. The starter disappeared into his box. 10 seconds to go and they're racing. Some of them pushing their bikes, some of them going.
And Shivers, who established...
And there's another fall, big crash on the start line once again. Bike 82,
Greg Neal.
Neal, one of the favourites for the event. They just couldn't leave the starting line. They were hit. Neal's just collapsed over the fence. And here we come now up through Reed Park, and the leaders on the first lap of what we think will be the 6-lap Australian Sidecar Grand Prix.
And it still looks like Shivers, who has the lead on bike 12, and Taylor behind him in the black and gold.
This time tucked in much, much closer. This is going to be a race between them. And behind them again, bike 10, Barry Horner on the ground effects Yamaha 700. Horner with his passenger Eddie Griffin. The bike wearing aerodynamic skirts intended to suck the machine down onto the track, especially on the fast Conrod Straight.
Conrod Straight, and this is going to be a real run to the finish because these two riders are going to be locked in battle for the Grand Prix of 1983 in the blue and white colours. It's Shivers, and look at Taylor as he gets right underneath the back of the chair. He can't get any closer than that, and tucked right in behind him is number 10 Horner, and this is going to be a great braking duel, and Horner's blown. Blue smoke pours out of the back of the bike, and Taylor in bike number 14 goes through on the inside. Can he do it? Yes, he does.
But only just a rough overtaking manoeuvre, and now Shivers slams back into the lead again. Up to the braking area in Hell Corner, and Shivers is holding it on the inside. Can't do it, and the Australian champion slams into the lead. Shivers and Halliday so determined.
Shivers out of the slipstream, but he's a wily fox, and he goes for the outside running as they go up to the top of the mountain. And look at the way the machines are bucking and weaving as they crest the top of the hill. And we can barely see the helmet of Doug Shivers in the blue and white as they come across the top of the mountain, around through Castrol Curve and then on towards McPhillamy.
And we await news of where Taylor and Fraser are. There they go, right in ahead.
And Shivers has a little look on the outside, but you couldn't pick a worse spot on the track to try and go around the outside of anybody as they come down through Skyline. And Shivers on that occasion seemed to be slowing a little as he came through that left-hander. But it's the man who's taken this event on the last 4 occasions, Jeff Taylor, who has the lead with his passenger Barry Fraser. Flash of 3rd place, and you can see an enormous gap back to 4th, and the rest of the field just not in the hunt in the 83 Australian Sidecar Grand Prix over 6 laps. On to Conrod, and just imagine the view that the sidecar passenger would get as he lays 3 inches, or she lays 3 inches off the ground at speeds that would be getting upwards of 250 kilometres per hour.
Shivers and Halliday start to reel Taylor and Fraser in. Yesterday in a preliminary race, Taylor and Fraser had real problems down Conrod Straight. The Yamaha TZ750 engine was missing, and you can see just now what a speed advantage the Shivers bike has down Conrod Straight as he tucks to the inside now, trying to out-drag him up the straight, and he'll probably do it.
Flying lap time of 2:28 as Taylor cuts back across Shivers, and Shivers goes on the inside, and that was very good bit of sidecar work. Passenger Halliday working very well. Taylor undecided as to whether to use the slipstream or just go for it on the outside as they go up towards the top, and this is going to be a heart stopper. And as we watch the leaders crest the top, the news through that unofficially Jeff Taylor has broken the existing lap record, which stood at 2:29.22, which he set in 1981, and records an unofficial time of 2:28.28. Taylor in the lead, bike 14.
Margaret Halliday, oh, so close to the concrete fencing now as they try to outbrake over Skyline.
Great shots from our O28 chopper at the Bell Jet Ranger with Terry Lee in control as we watch them come down the top of the mountain.
Over the top, it's Mark Halliday and Doug Shivers in the lead. From Barry Fraser, the passenger, Jeff Taylor, the rider. Now that's a turn up for the books, because there is no way that Taylor and Fraser have been so seriously challenged in maybe 2 or 3 years. Total dominance of sidecar racing in Australia before Shivers and Halliday returned from Halliday's native New Zealand, where they had actually become the New Zealand champions 2 years ago, and now, with only 1.5 laps remaining, it's anyone's race.
Enormous gap back to 3rd place, which at last count was number 10, Barry Horner, and here he comes. Waiting for the leaders now on Conrod Straight. And it's Taylor who's gone back into the lead, but Shivers comes back once again. Past the drive-in on the right-hand side and cresting now towards the last hump. And Shivers in the blue and white colours on the left-hand side there. Taylor in the right.
Lap rider will get in their way, it forces Fraser to drop in behind.
Now comes back on the outside and they touch. And Fraser comes off second best in that manoeuvre. And the crowd is really cheering in the pit grandstand. They love this stuff.
Blue flag, 6.2 kilometres to go. And you couldn't say that Shivers and Halliday are in the box seat because it's still anyone's race. Look at the wheels lifting on the sidecar. Now, Taylor and Fraser take a tighter line through Hell Corner and really gas it on as they go up Mountain Straight. But has Shivers got too much of a lead?
Oh, the TZ750 of Jeffrey Taylor's reeling him in across the top.
Most exciting sidecar Grand Prix seen at Mt Panorama in many a year, across the top of the mountain for the last time. Taylor and Shivers. Here they come. It's Taylor in the lead, Shivers right behind, trying for an outside manoeuvre over Skyline. Oh no! That's almost impossible, he just couldn't do it. Shivers had to drop back behind. But what bravery from both riders. Now down through the mountain, it's going to be all decided on Conrod Straight. Shivers has got to stay nice and tight, but has got a slingshot through Forest Elbow down Conrod.
Out of Forest Elbow for the last time, and you can see the black and yellow colours of Jeffrey Taylor in the lead, with Doug Shivers tucked right in behind in the blue and white gear. And this is going to be one of the most interesting finishes to the Grand Prix that we've ever seen. And look at Jeffrey Taylor as he powers the TZ750, but Shivers seems to be coming back just that little bit more. Remember that Taylor has won this event in the last 4 occasions, on the hump for the last time and under the bridge, and it looks like he may just get this one in the bag. Magnificent finish to the 1983 Australian 1000cc Sidecar Grand Prix. Checkered flag out, a win to Jeff Taylor, second place to Doug Shivers.
And that's fourth place, that's Barry Horner and Eddie Griffin, following home Graham Dewhurst and Alan Jamison, who came third. The Australian Sidecar Grand Prix completed in 14 minutes, 55.18 seconds, an outlap average of 148.81 kilometres an hour.
Sheba Yamaha dealer team rider Gary Coleman, how's it all going this weekend?
Actually quite good.